In 1954, two scientists at McGill University made a mistake that changed everything we know about motivation. James Olds and Peter Milner were implanting electrodes into rat brains. One electrode missed its target. It landed in a region near the septal area, and when the rat was allowed to press a lever that sent a tiny pulse of electricity into that spot, something disturbing happened. The rat pressed the lever again and again, thousands of times an hour, ignoring food, ignoring water, ignoring everything, until the researchers had to stop the experiment themselves. They had found the brain's reward circuitry. And here's the part nobody tells you, sweetie. That same circuitry is sitting inside your skull right now. The exact machinery that made a rat press a lever until exhaustion is the machinery that keeps you scrolling at 2 a.m. And it's the machinery that toppers, knowingly or not, have flipped to work for their studying instead of against it. This video is about how they flip it, step by step, with real neuroscience, not motivation guru noise. First, you need to know what dopamine actually is, because almost everyone gets it wrong. People call it the pleasure chemical. It isn't. The proof came from a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz, who recorded dopamine neurons in monkeys while giving them juice. At first, dopamine spiked when the juice arrived. The reward. Makes sense. But then, something strange happened. After the monkeys learned that a light always came before the juice, the dopamine spike moved. It stopped firing for the juice. It started firing for the light. Read that again. Dopamine doesn't fire for the reward. It fires for the prediction of the reward. Dopamine is not pleasure. It's anticipation. It's your brain's "something good is coming, chase it" signal. That single fact is the key to everything that follows. Now look at your phone with that knowledge. Every notification is a light before the juice. Every swipe down to refresh is a lever. And the apps add one more weapon, a discovery from the psychologist B.F. Skinner decades ago. Rewards that arrive unpredictably produce far more compulsive lever pressing than rewards that arrive every time. Slot machines run on this. Feeds run on this. Sometimes the next video is amazing. Usually, it's nothing. Your dopamine system can't stand not knowing, so you pull the lever again. Here's why this destroys studying, and it's brutally simple. Anticipation is comparative. Your brain is constantly asking one question. Of everything I could do right now, where is the strongest good thing coming signal? Picture a student at 11 p.m., chemistry chapter open, exam in 3 months. The textbook offers a reward that's real but distant. The phone, lying right beside the notebook, offers a possible reward in 3 seconds. 3 seconds beats 3 months, every single time. For every student on this planet, you don't have a discipline problem, you have a prediction problem. The same one every topper in your class had to solve. So how do toppers flip it? Not by having stronger willpower, by doing 3 things that re-aim the anticipation machinery at studying itself. None of this is magic. All of it is mechanical. Step 1. Starve the competition. Before a study session, the phone doesn't get silenced. It gets exiled. Another room, given to a parent, locked in a drawer. Not in your pocket, not face down beside your books. Here's the why. Your dopamine system fires on cues, remember? The light before the juice. As long as the phone is visible on your study table, the cue is live, and part of your brain keeps predicting rewards from it while you're trying to memorize formulas. Researchers at the University of Texas tested this on students. A phone merely sitting on the desk, switched off, still drained measurable thinking capacity during their tasks. The brain spends fuel just ignoring it, fuel that should have gone into the chapter. Out of sight isn't a cliché. It's how you kill a prediction at the root. And this idea is older than neuroscience. Over 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote letters urging his student to practice voluntary discomfort. Set aside days with plain food, rough clothes, no luxuries. The Stoics had no brain scanners, but they understood the principle perfectly. A mind drowning in easy pleasure loses its appetite for hard, valuable things. Strip the easy pleasure away, even briefly, and the appetite returns. What modern people call a dopamine reset, Seneca was teaching in ancient Rome. Lower the noise, the signal comes back. Step 2. Shrink the distance to the first reward. Toppers don't sit down to study chemistry. That target is so big and so far away that the anticipation system reads it as nothing good coming anytime soon. Instead, the session starts with something embarrassingly small. 1 page of the chapter.
5 recall questions from yesterday's class. 1 solved maths problem. 1 diagram redrawn from memory. Why does this work? Because completion itself triggers the reward circuit, and the first hit arrives within minutes instead of months. Now the brain has a fresh prediction. Effort here pays off here. Each small win reloads the next prediction. Momentum isn't a feeling. It's a chain of short-range dopamine predictions, each one pulling you into the next block. Start small, not because you're weak. Start small because that's where the circuitry pays out. Step 3. Make the progress visible. A tally on paper. A syllabus tracker on the wall. Chapters crossed out in red ink. Mock test scores written in a line, so the climb is visible. Toppers track, almost obsessively. And now you know the real reason. A visible mark is a cue, the light before the juice. Every time you glance at yesterday's crossed out chapters, your brain runs the prediction. Doing this leads to that growing wall of wins. The streak itself becomes the thing your dopamine system doesn't want to break. This is exactly the mechanism the apps use against you. Streaks, progress bars, levels. You're not banning the slot machine from your life. You're building one that pays out in marks. Put the 3 together and watch what happens across 2 weeks. Days 1 to 3 feel flat. Honest warning, the phone's predictions are still louder than the textbooks, and your brain sulks when the easy lever is gone. Most people quit here and call themselves lazy. They're not lazy, they're mid-rewiring. Around days 4 to 7, the small wins start registering. Sitting down after school or coaching gets easier. Not fun yet, easier. The first page trick stops feeling fake. By week 2, something genuinely strange happens. You catch yourself thinking about the next session before it starts. A faint pull toward the study table. That pull is dopamine. Anticipation. Running in the right direction for once. The same sensation that used to drag you to the phone, now pointed at your syllabus. That's the entire trick. The toppers in your class aren't built different. Their prediction machinery just got trained on a different lever, usually by accident, through some early win that started the chain. You're doing it on purpose, which is faster. One last thing, and it matters. And sweeties, if you want my complete step-by-step system for this, the full PDF I normally sell for $42, it's free for every student here. Just join my Telegram channel. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments box. Join it and the PDF is waiting for you there.